Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I say another live stream Tuesday. We've been away for a while because of the FIFA World Cup and England not only doing quite well. Let me just check the levels of this microphone. Hopefully it's okay. Just checking it as I'm talking. But yeah, England did quite well in the World Cup, which was good. The only problem was that it seems like they were always scheduling the games for either a Tuesday or a Saturday. So we missed a lot of live streams, but now we are back. And England finished third in the World Cup, which doesn't sound too bad. But unfortunately, I think the whole country thinks that we could have got into the final. I don't know whether we would have beaten Spain or not. But yeah, it's just a bit of a shame, really, that everybody seems to think, and I thought at the time watching the match, that we shouldn't go defensive against Argentina. And by the way, if you don't know anything about football or soccer, Argentina, the team that we were playing, have got the best ever attacking player to have played the game. I mean, some people might debate that, but I don't think there's much of a debate. He's called Lionel Messi, and he's very, very good at putting the ball in the goal, which is the point of the game. So we were 1-0 up, and rather than keep on attacking, England decided to defend, and the manager brought on, I don't know, 2 or 3 defenders. I think in the end we had 6 or 7 defenders left on the pitch, which meant that we couldn't do anything. We couldn't go forwards. And I think everybody agrees that the last thing you do to the best attacking player to ever have played the game is say to that person, okay, we're now going to sit back and you can come and attack us. So, of course, we lost. We lost 2-1 because even though I think we went defensive from about the 72nd minute, something like that, we held out for as long as we could, and they scored in like the 86th minute and then like the 92nd minute. But it was just them against us, like the attack against defence. So, of course, they were going to score. So, yeah, a bit of a shame. If it had gone to extra time, I don't know what we would have done. We were just lined up against the goal, hoping that they're not going to score for another half an hour. So, yeah, a bit of a shame. But we did finish third, and we beat France 6-4. If you could believe that. It was a crazy game, but it was quite good. And I don't know, I'm of the opinion that I think it's probably better to go out of the World Cup finishing third and actually winning than maybe losing in the final, especially if it's like a bad decision or something like that, where you feel like you shouldn't have lost. So, yeah, a bit of a shame, but quite good to finish third. It's our most successful World Cup since 1966. So, yeah, it's just... we always tend to focus on the things that could have been, that should have been, but yeah, unfortunately it didn't pan out that way. Now, getting into the live stream for tonight, first of all, I've got to remember how to work everything because we've been away for so much time. But I will, first of all, get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. A massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are. The other update that I've got is because of my illness that I still haven't quite got over yet. I might be clearing my throat every now and again. And yeah, I don't know what it is. It kind of felt like a virus type thing. And here in the UK, the temperature's been in the 30s. So it's really annoying when you're not feeling well. But at night time, when you want to sleep and recover, it's too hot to sleep. So you're waking up every hour or two because it's, you're kind of sweating and then you have to try and cool down. And so, yeah, I mean, you probably would be sweating because of the, maybe, having a temperature and that kind of stuff anyway. But yeah, very annoying. And yeah, my voice is still attempting to recover, but I'm feeling okay, in myself. I think it's just waiting for the body to totally get rid of whatever I've got. So, bit of a shame. I knew that something was up when it was, I think, like 32 degrees, and I was feeling cold. I thought, that's not a very good sign. But yeah, not feeling too bad, and obviously did the videos kind of last week. So even though with the videos I was kind of talking a little bit more softly, but as long as I can talk and you can understand me, that's the most important thing. And talking about the weather, it is still hot. I say hot, it's now mid-20s to kind of high 20s, maybe around 28 degrees Celsius. But I think the main problem that we've got here is that it hasn't rained for, I think, 30 days, something like that. So it means that now there's a hosepipe ban across, I think, most of England, which means that people aren't allowed to use the water to water their gardens because there's not a lot of water going around or left in the stores. The storage of water is running low. So we're just, as crazy as it sounds, and I know about global warming and all that stuff, as crazy as it sounds, we're now waiting for it to rain in England. It usually rains all the time. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy, really. Let me give you guys a shout out in the live chat room, because I haven't done that yet. So hello to you guys in there. We have Joe, Angela, Laurelie, Desert Deluge, Corey, Cindy, Vince, Rose, Diamond Girl, 1234, Bob, Tammy's in there as well, Mo, Teresa, Alison. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. And yeah, we'll see what happens tonight. I think what is undeniable is that missing live streams does cause the algorithm to start not telling people that you're either going to be live streaming or that you're releasing a video. And yeah, that there are some things that happen that have a definite correlation to each other, because I've seen that before where I've missed a live stream and then everything goes down with people watching videos, but it's very much the people that aren't getting told about the videos. So I'm finding that at the moment. I think my other problem is mentioning authentic vocal, but yeah, I knew that was always going to be a problem, actually mentioning that on that side of things. Over on the, I mean, I'm again making sure that people aren't going to get notified for my videos on this channel, but over on official authentic vocal, we almost have 7,500 subscribers, which is amazing. So thank you guys for going over there and subscribing. And that's certainly a channel that it's even harder to get any kind of traction with, because the algorithm certainly won't push those videos out there, promoting the natural human voice and just great natural performances, because that's not what the mainstream industry want people to be spending their time watching. So yeah, it's great that we're getting some numbers over there. And as for, I mean, the videos over there, what I do is upload the authentic performances that I've looked at on the Wings of Pegasus channel, and some that, yeah, have been quite a while back. So you may have seen those, you may not have seen those. But it's also funny when people comment on my Wings of Pegasus channel, say, oh, why don't you focus on the natural performances and start looking at those? Well, first of all, I'm looking at requested videos. So people that's what happens here on Wings of Pegasus. Each video is requested, but over on authentic vocal, those aren't requested. Those are just posting natural performances, and performances that aren't post-pitch corrected. They aren't AI. It's not auto-tuned. It's not lip syncing or miming. So that's the place to go for that place. And I know that I have to manually tell people about it. It's going to be word of mouth to get more subscribers over there. But I'm hoping that if we build up enough of an audience, then yeah, we can start getting it out there into the real world. And it's great that we've got BBC introducing on board as well, and we've looked at a few BBC introducing performances over on authentic vocal, which is great. But yeah, I would like to push it out all over the place so that people are aware, and maybe even at some point in the future have performances that there is this channel that was set up by Sony called The First Take, and they were promoting on that channel that it was as it sounded, that it was just the first take of a performance, warts and all, and they're just going to release it as it is. Obviously, because it's a major record label that was setting it up, they didn't tell you that it wasn't the first take, and it was post-processed and tuned and all the normal things that happen with the live performance. So that couldn't be trusted, that particular bit. It's only, I did a video and pointed out that all of the same processing was going on. But obviously giving it that tagline means they're going to get more viewers. And they were getting millions of views and had, maybe hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers. But I hope maybe one day in the future, further down the line, that authentic vocal will be a place where we can maybe even have exclusive performances by people, bands, artists that are for authentic vocal. So not like First Take, but on authentic vocal, it's going to be absolutely live and unedited. So yeah, hopefully I mean, there's lots of different things that are potentially viable in the future to have on that channel. And yeah, if you want to subscribe over there, then you can do it at official authentic vocal. And if you want to support that project just in general to allow me to, you know, push it forward even more, then you can head over to patreon.com/authentic vocal. But let's get back into tonight's live stream, because we need to get the likes goal up on screen. Now this is set at 320 likes, and I think maybe that's, I don't know, a little bit optimistic, but who knows. 320, and what we're going to do is get up on screen the likeometer to see that we are at 206. That means we're looking for 114 more people to hit the thumbs up. And yeah, if we do get 114 or 113 more people, it means that we are going to be having Phil Jam number 337. We'll bust out the guitar and see what happens. So yeah, we'll be getting into Joe's backing track that he's sent over, whatever that might be. And yeah, I still have the laptop set up, and it's still, yeah, that same problem that I have on the computer. Talking about computer and problems and updates, here's another thing that is crazy. So on my videos recently, you might have noticed, you might not have noticed, that let me just check everything's fine here. The frame rate of the videos have been fine, but now on some of the videos, they look a bit jumpy, i.e. the frame rate has decreased. Now, the reason for this is that there's no reason for that. Absolutely no reason. So what I've been doing is, in Final Cut Pro 10, what happens is you import your video file, then you edit it, then you export it. And with every video previously, I've done that and it's all been fine. And then over the last, few weeks, we can start to see this kind of frame rate decrease. Over the last few weeks, the videos, when I'm editing them in Final Cut Pro 10, they're already looking like they're jumpy, like it's a lower frame rate. But the frame rate is set exactly the same to the original, the source file. So that's the other thing, when you type in Google trying to sort this out, they all say, oh, make sure that the frame rate matches the original file, and then that it's not your hard disk is too full up and it's taking too long to load it, and all of these different things. That's not the reason. So, and I don't know if people have this problem. I don't know why this problem happened, but I figured out a solution, and the solution is crazy because it proves that there's no reason for this to be happening. When I import the file into Final Cut Pro 10, you can play the file in Final Cut Pro 10. Then it's nice and smooth, and it's like this. It's running and there's no problems. As soon as you drag it now into your timeline, it now has this jaggedy movement. So what I do is I delete it from the timeline. I go back to the original, and instead of dragging down the whole file, I select a little bit of the file and drag that down. Now when you add it to the timeline like that, it's smooth. So it's the same file I'm moving. So then what I do is, say that I've only got 5 minutes of my 20-minute video, I then drag each end to now reveal the whole 20 minutes of the video, and that then plays back smoothly. So it ends up being the exact same thing that happens when you drag in the file. You drag in a bit of it and then extend it to now show the whole file, but now it runs smoothly. So yeah, it's so annoying. I mean, I've got a workaround now, but it's so annoying, like having to do that each time. I don't know what has gone wrong with it, but yeah, this is I guess the life of filming and editing, is you'll suddenly get a problem that it's annoying when you try and find the solution, because everyone on the internet says, oh, this is the problem, And then you think, well, no, that's not the problem. They said, well, if it's not that, it's got to be this. He said, well, no, it's not that either. Oh, I know what it is. It's the render files. You've got to delete all of those because they're built up and they're taking up space on your hard drive. It's not that either. It's an error that doesn't make any sense because it should work. So, yeah, I think I had a comment or two from people saying about the frame rate of the video, saying that it's dropped. But there's nothing that I could do about it other than trying to figure out a workaround, which, yeah, can take weeks to figure it out. So anyway, yeah, the frustrations of working with technology and updates, that always tends to be the worst thing, where the computer's always trying to update itself, but I'm always trying to cancel it updating, so that, or turning off automatic updates, because it seems like, yeah, when you get up to date with your computer, now the drivers don't work with all of your software and hardware. Well, more the hardware, the interfaces that I use. But anyway, oh look, we've got a question. Alex says, quick question: do your special abilities get in the way of enjoying music? So thank you for that. Not really, because I've always enjoyed music that hasn't been digitally tuned. But then, there might be some tracks from my childhood that give me memories, like Believe by Cher. That was a huge hit when it came out. So it takes you back to that time, back in 1998. So it's not that I listen to it and think, oh, I don't like that because I can hear that it's been tuned. It's just kind of a song from that time that kind of takes me back. For my own personal taste, if I'm listening to things that have been tuned and, heavily tuned, which is unfortunately most of, I'd say, music released nowadays, because it's the industry standard to tune vocals. I don't tend to listen to it, or I can't really listen to it. I would say that there have been some movies, like musicals, for example, where because of the songs, like Wicked, because of the, I think that's what they call, that's what the stage show used to be called in London, and there's a movie that they did with it as well that I did an analysis video on, and I'm assuming that they called it that for the movie. I can't remember, but that particular movie and the songs from it, I think if it weren't so heavily tuned, I probably would have watched that movie just to see it. But yeah, there's something. Oh, and there's another, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like, origin story or something, following not Charlie, but Willy Wonka when he was younger. And I started watching that, and the first song that came in, it was Willy Wonka, the young version of him, singing on a boat, and it was so tuned, I thought, oh no, I'm not going to be able to watch this movie. So I just had to turn it off. Because, yeah, I guess that is, like, I don't know if that's a special ability, just being able to hear A440. But yeah, when you're listening to a pre-programmed pitch, it's just something that my ears would rather hear the natural voice. And that's why the original songs in movies from back in the day, where they did either have a talented singer who was singing for the movie, and singer / actor for the role, but they sometimes got the actors and then had trained singers who would then sing the parts of the songs, and the actor would then obviously lip sync or mime along to it. And those voices, yeah, I enjoy listening to them because you get the expression of the vocal, which adds to the story. I mean, it's, for me, it breaks the immersion when somebody might be in a movie and they just happen to break into a song, but you think, well, why would Willy Wonka be tuning his vocal? Why would he be that self-conscious of singing on a boat that he's then going to pitch correct his voice or use auto-tune? It's something for me that, yeah, just totally ruins it. If anything, the vocal should be a bit rough because the character's not a trained singer. So, yeah, it's just something that, like I said, it breaks the immersion of the movie because you think, well, that's not right. if you're trying to sell me that this character is singing, if it is a musical, you accept that there's going to be songs in there, but you've got to accept that the songs aren't going to be computerized, and that's how they sound. So yeah, a bit of a shame. So it's affected me enjoying maybe musicals or movies. Not that I watch a load of them anyway, but those that I might start to watch, if it's really heavily tuned, then I can't sit there and I can't sit through it, unfortunately. But in terms of kind of enjoying music in general, when things aren't kind of too heavily tuned, I can listen to them and enjoy songs, but there's a definite limit as to where you just pick up A440 all the time and you think, I'd rather hear a natural voice. And talking about natural voices, we had the last video, which was on Mafra, and I won't talk about it too much because I might do another follow-up video, because I've had a lot of comments from people, and we might get into Troll Corner a little bit later on about this. But the problem is that it's really difficult to just... it's not difficult to point out, because I rely on objective factual data and information. It's not difficult to just show on screen what is happening. But what is difficult is people not being able to look at it objectively. And you've got two sides of that coin. You've got people who just might want to have a go at the singer, or say it's all fake and that the person probably can't sing, and all those things, which for me that's kind of not constructive, and it's obviously not objective. It is an opinion. But then you've got people who come in to comment that are obviously fans of Mafra, and I guess the other problem is that a lot of the reaction community have done videos on that particular performance, or a few performances, and they haven't mentioned that it's tuned. So people don't know it's tuned. So then when somebody does point out that it's tuned, such as myself, and I'm supplying the objective data that proves that it's true, they have a knee-jerk reaction, being defensive, and start calling me names and saying that I'm hating on people. And then somebody will say, oh yeah, he hates on everyone. And it's like, I never say anything derogatory about a singer, a band or artist. I never have done. I might say occasionally that I'd love to hear the voice without any tuning, because of the expression that the natural voice has, and my suspicions that what we're listening to is probably better natural than it is tuned, because the singer probably has more expression in her or his voice. So if anything, I'm saying the opposite, that I would love to hear it without tuning. So it's not having a go at the singer at all, but the fan bases, especially when, I don't know, I was going to say, especially when the kind of reaction community aren't being honest about things, that's where the problem comes in. So then, I'm the only one saying, really, that this is what it is, and it's objective data, and then, let's move on to the next request, whatever performance it might be. But, people really do take it as an insult that, we'll jump into a couple of comments later, but, it is a shame that we've got this approach that either one way is saying, oh, it's rubbish, I don't like the singer, I don't like tuning, auto-tune is, fake and all that stuff, or, it might as well be an AI artist. And you've got the other side of it, which is people having a go at the people having a go at the artist. So you've got, and the people having a go at me just for doing an objective analysis video. So and the two sides of that coin, and these two communities, neither of them really are innocent, because you can say, right, well, that, you don't really need to share those. Here in the UK we say, if you've got nothing to say, then don't say it at all. So you could say that about the people that are having a go at the artist, or saying that they might not be able to sing and all that stuff. But then you've got the other community who are calling me names and having a go at other people calling them names. You think, well, that's exactly the same thing that the people in the other community are doing. They're saying to these people, oi, don't do that, it's not nice to call them names, you're a so-and-so, and they'll start calling them names. So you think, well, we've got to try to have a bit of objectivity here. Look at what you're typing. And how would you categorize that? Yeah, I mean, I think everyone is entitled to their opinion, whatever it might be. And it might be the case that somebody says, oh, I don't like this sound, it's not for me, I prefer a natural voice. But then people from the community supporting the artist will then start calling that person names. And you think, well, hang on, they've just expressed an opinion. They're not having a go at anyone. But it seems like if you don't like their favourite artist, then you're the enemy. But yeah, I think people have got to wake up to the fact that it's okay to not like an artist or not like a particular singer's sound. That's just somebody's opinion, and everyone's opinion is correct to them. You can't say to someone, oh, your opinion on that artist that you don't like is wrong. If you don't like this voice, then you're wrong. Because even the people in part of that community who, really, I'd say, overly support an artist to the detriment of the rest of the genuine fans of that particular artist. And I've had it before, where you look at a particular band or artist and they've got a cult type following, where if anything is pointed out, they see that as such a negative that I've mentioned there's tuning there, and then you're absolutely vilified by, I would say, a section of the community. I don't think it's the same for the whole community of supporters, because sometimes people message me and say, and they apologize for the fan base of a particular artist because they know there are some fanatical people there that really can't be objective, unfortunately. So it's a bit of a kind of shame all round, but that was one of those videos that, again, it's just objective. And I think I will do a follow-up video showing how, in my position, I'm literally stuck. It's an impossible situation for me to be in, given the community and what they want me to do. Because, unfortunately, it's exactly the same with the whole Taylor Swift thing, where I did a video and the fans said, oi, why did you do that? You only featured the videos, that are lip-synced or mimed. Why didn't you do this song? So then I do that song, and it's lip-synced or mimed. They say, oh, no, why didn't you do this song? When she's kind of playing acoustic guitar or playing the piano. So I did that song, and it was using auto-tune live. They go, oh, yeah, you only picked the one. And the thing is, the community don't realise that all of them are separately giving me independent videos and saying, oh, why did you pick that? You're just trying to highlight the lip-synced or mimed videos. And I say, because your community requested it. And they say, okay, we'll take this one then. So I do that one. And then a part of the community, they say, oh, why did you choose that one? The one that's lip-synced or mimed, you should have done this one. I said, because you're requesting it. So then I do the acoustic guitar piano one, and I point out that it is auto-tuned. And then another part of the community say, oh, why are you choosing the auto-tuned ones? You should have done this one. And it's a never-ending cycle. But the problem is, when you are being objective and you're pointing out what's going on, every video is still objective, but I'm pointing out that either it's lip-synced or mimed or it's auto-tuned. And every single song that I looked at was either one of those. All of the requests that I got from the community that are now trying to get me to focus on something that they think is entirely, and this is the problem, they think performances are entirely natural and not edited and not tuned. And those are the ones that they're giving to me because I'm doing it objectively. I'm going to say what is happening. So yeah, like I said, it's an impossible place for me to be, that when people want me to kind of clear the name of their artist and they're giving me auto-tuned performances or lip-synced or mimed performances to clear their name, it's like, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to start lying about it or ignoring the fact that what you're asking me to do, it's not objective to say something is amazing and it's great, and I know that it's tuned and I can see on screen that it's tuned. So anyway, the other thing that is, I guess, a bit annoying in YouTube land is I think YouTube has now got an automated copyright claim system where I suspect they're using AI to try to dish out copyright claims. And we've seen this in especially the recent past, on multiple videos and multiple channels where people are getting copyright claims that are ridiculous. And a copyright claim that I had today, this morning, is or was on the Miley Cyrus video that I made, where I received a copyright claim for 2 seconds of an isolated vocal crowd shot footage of Miley Cyrus, 2 seconds that I then analysed for probably about 5 minutes. And this is where people sometimes say underneath my videos, oh, why didn't you let the song play for longer? Because now it's impossible, because your video will get copyright claimed and potentially blocked. And that's something that happened on, I think it was the No Doubt video, Gwen Stefani, which again, I checked, and that had been copyright claimed and copyright blocked. So they're taking a tiny bit of an isolated vocal, which, by the way, isolating a vocal and plotting it on pitch monitoring software, displaying that on screen, synchronizing it in real time, is converting the original audio. It's something that is absolutely covered by fair use or fair dealings, as it is here in the UK. It's covered by law. And yeah, in order for something to be copyright claimed, copyright blocked, it has to be a breach, a clear breach of copyright. And if they're using AI to detect that tiny bit, that 2 seconds, and are potentially blocking my whole 20-minute video, I know why YouTube are doing it, and I know how they're doing it. When you upload your video to YouTube, they say, oh, there's nothing wrong with your video. So you upload it, and it means that the copyright situation is absolutely fine. And I think they wait for a time, maybe about an hour or two, and then they give you the copyright claim. But you might not notice that. So let's say, for example, with the Gwen Stefani analysis that I did, they will wait a little bit until they say, oh, your video is absolutely fine. They wait for you to go away. They then put a copyright claim on your video. So it means that when you come back, and it might have had, like 80,000 views, if you've got a really good video, and think, oh, wow, that's good. And then you can see, oh, but hang on, YouTube have been taking all of the ad revenue for that video, and I didn't know that they were taking that. So let's say, for example, YouTube have got their ad revenue from 80,000 views, and of course, I get nothing of that. Now, when I dispute that claim, first of all, the earnings up to that point don't now get debated upon. YouTube keeps that, and that's always the case, that YouTube keeps that money that it's made, and now it sends out to the copyright claimants that it says. And by the way, YouTube is taking half the amount that the claimant is claiming on the video, but it's a YouTube system that is going through and finding bits. It must be, in order to cover everything with the claim. YouTube has to put some kind of algorithm on your video to first of all say that, oh, that there's nothing wrong with your video, but then for it to almost immediately then get a claim. But it means that YouTube are getting half of the money, and they're sharing that with the record label, the copyright owner. So, but the problem that I have is they absolutely know that my video is fair use, or they must have an inkling that it's fair use. If they're copyright claiming 2 seconds of a 20-minute video, if they're using an AI system to determine, oh, that little bit of isolated vocal, that was Miley Cyrus, and that's from this song, they absolutely can get AI to make a transcript, which it can do in seconds, make a transcript of the video, and for it to make an educated deduction from the text of whether this is a fair use case or not. Because it would take a second for AI to see, oh, hang on, he's talked for 18 minutes about this, and he's only used 2 seconds. So he's not illegally taking the song and just redistributing it on his channel, and thereby contravening the fair use or fair dealings law, if AI can spot 2 seconds, it can spot whether it's going to be fair use or not, and make a deduction based on that on the video. So this is what's annoying, is everything is geared towards record labels and YouTube making money. If I dispute it and say, well, hang on, you've had 80,000 views of ad revenue, but that's not fair. This is covered by fair use. Absolutely. It's not a shadow of a doubt that that is the case. YouTube then say, okay, well, we're going to tell the copyright owner, and they've got 30 days to respond to your dispute. Of course, they're going to, well, they usually wait 30 days, which means that I have to wait another 30 days for that copyright claim to be released on the video. So it's an absolute pain, and this is happening more and more and more. And I feel like on my videos, because I, have spoken to lawyers in the past, they have said that my videos are, the definition of fair use. I'm not just, I'm instantly, transforming the content by converting it into a vocal line on a pitch graph of A440, standard pitch equal temperament, and isolating the vocal. That is transformative, just doing that, let alone explaining about what we're talking about and what we're seeing on screen and synchronizing it all in real time. So yeah, it's just a real shame that there isn't an algorithm that steps in and stops me having to spend all my time now disputing claims that have absolutely no basis. It's just an algorithm that's saying, oh yeah, no, breaching copyright there. It's like, it absolutely is not. So yeah, but that's just the way it is, and unfortunately the focus is all about obviously making money for YouTube, because it's no skin off their nose if millions and millions of videos that should be covered by the fair use exception, if they're all getting copyright claimed by AI and an algorithm. It means that YouTube's going to be making all that money for millions and millions of videos, and they're just hoping that the person doesn't spot that their video's been copyright claimed, almost in the background in secret. And yes, sometimes what happens that if you've got thousands of videos, you're not going to notice that they're getting copyright claimed in the background all the time, because you're busy making videos and editing them. And I do tend to look at, when I upload a video, I'm going to have to start checking back now, but I do tend to look at it when I upload it to see if there are any problems. So yeah, the fact is YouTube says, oh, there aren't any problems, but then maybe an hour or two later they'll stick that copyright claim on there. So yeah, a bit of a shame. Anyway, look, we are 16, seems rambling on helps the likeometer. We're 16 likes away from having a fill jam at the end of the live stream. So if you can hit the thumbs up, it would be very much appreciated. Yeah, and we will see what happens. So, there are so many things kicking off in the background on YouTube at the moment that, yeah, I'll try to keep you guys in the loop about. I had an approach from Suno to do a collaboration video with them. Oh, have we got the fireworks? Maybe yeah, there we go. The double thumbs up fireworks. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing a sponsored video with Suno, just so you know. But that's the other thing that it does show, that even their approaches to channels are AI. I think they must be AI, because it means they're not even watching my channel. They're just saying, oh, that's a lot of subscribers. Let's approach that particular person to make a video with. So yeah, a bit of a weird one, but this, I mean, the amount of AI things that I get in my inbox is crazy for different AI products. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. Anyway, now, oh, the donations tab, by the way. I usually do this at the beginning, but you don't have to donate. So yeah, it doesn't really matter when I put that up on screen. Yeah, you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. So thank you to those of you that do donate. But I think it's important that you know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But yeah, you don't have to donate, as I just said. So yeah, 11 likes we're now looking for. Yeah, if you haven't hit that thumbs up, that would be great. And usually at the end of the live stream, we're trying to see how many likes we can get, and it sometimes is quite close, but I guess because we've had a bit of time off, maybe a few more people hitting the thumbs up, so thank you for that. And Alex says, I so wonder how Steven Tyler and Joe Perry accepted Youngblood's live auto-tune. Yeah, it would be interesting, because you have, I think I mentioned in that video, you had Steven Tyler who retired. He stopped singing because his vocal surgery didn't quite go how they wanted it to, or how he thought it would. So he stopped singing, saying, look, I can't sing to the same level that I could previously, so I'm gonna call it a day. And yeah, in that tribute performance, he was singing naturally with all of the problems that he's had with his vocal. He just has decided that, look, I'm still going to sing with my voice. I think he sounded great. Like, it wasn't one of those situations where you could tell immediately that he's lost all of his range, and everything about his voice is now unrecognizable. He still had his unique sound. He might have lost some range, but yeah, the way he navigated it, I think he sounded great. I didn't think it sounded that kind of injured, or something that with other singers who have had vocal surgery or had injuries where they've had to try and recover from that. There are lots of examples of that, but I think the first one that comes to mind is John Bon Jovi, having to now try and work through your vocals again and get them up to speed. And yes, sometimes it's just something that you're never going to win that battle. You can just get to a point, and it's whether you're happy at that point that you've got to. Obviously Stephen wasn't happy, but then for him to know that a guy who is 40 years younger is using something to move his voice to notes, I don't know how he would have felt about that. But obviously with Youngblood, I think that's just his thing, that he uses auto-tune live. I haven't seen the only thing that I did see, which I did a whole video on, was him singing in an interview, so that wasn't auto-tuned. But every performance that I've seen that's like an official performance, or crowd shot footage of an official performance, has been using auto-tune. But again, that's something that he can do if he wants to. What was different in that scenario is that he's performing with Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, and they very much don't use auto-tune, even if the vocal's being compromised through health, or going through something that unfortunately hasn't worked out positively, or as good as Stephen would have hoped. He's gone through all of that, and he's still singing naturally. So then to have somebody who hasn't gone through any of that, but then to be using a technology to pitch the vocal, it's, I don't know what Stephen feels about it. I think with my interview that I did with Justin Hawkins on his channel, we were talking about that, and I think we both have a similar kind of view that rock and roll is the opposite of being worried about tuning your vocal. It should be a bit, it should be Steven Tyler-ish, of just being, a little bit rough around the edges, having a bit of attitude, not really caring about hitting a note dead on A440. So I kind of feel that it is the antithesis of rock and roll, but everyone's got a different opinion, I guess. So, and everyone's entitled to that opinion, of course. Let me just quickly jump into the donations that have happened. Paul donated $2. Thank you for that. And says, despite the likes, we need a Phil Jam. And Paul also said he just donated them $5.33 and said 533,000 subscribers. So thank you for that. And it means that is something that I've forgotten to change, but I just did it while I was talking so that we can get this up on screen. 533,000 subscribers. Thank you everyone for subscribing and hitting the thumbs up. Let's see if we can get some fireworks going. There they are. So we will keep on pushing forward. We'll keep on pushing forward and push forward in general. See where we end up. I know that I say that all the time, but I think very much it's sometimes swimming against the tide, especially over on Authentic Vocal, but certainly with some of the videos here when there are, I don't know, really overly protective fan bases that don't like people being told the truth. That's what it comes down to. Some people just don't want people to know the truth. But yeah, that's not how I roll on the channel. I will always just say what is going on. And more importantly, it's never an opinion of what's going on. It's showing that it is fact what is going on, whether we're matching audio files or, you know, showing calibration to A440. So anyway, we will move into the PayPal window as well, because there's a donation. Yeah, I'm going quite a while back now because we missed a lot of donations in or the live streams because we weren't doing the live streams. But we had a donation from Chuck who donated £2. So thank you for that, Chuck. And the next one is from John, and John donated £5. So thank you for that, John. And the next one was Philip, who donated £5 as well. So thank you for that, Philip. And I'm having to kind of scroll through to find these. Bruce has donated £4 as well. So thank you for that, Bruce. And these are all straight up donations, so no messages with these. And scrolling up here, we had another donation from Paul, $5.33. Thank you for that. And the message was again, yay, 533,000 subscribers. Awesome. Let's have fun tonight. Oh, y'all, please spike the likes so we can have a Phil Jam. Peace, love, and rock. So thank you for that. And I think we have a couple more. Lynn's donated £75. So thank you for that, Lynn. A very kind donation. And the message is, Phil, good to hear you are feeling better and the live streams are back. So yeah, it's good to be back. And I guess the next tournament that's going to clash, if England qualify for it, will be the European Championship. So yeah, we've got another couple of years until that, and then another 4 years until the World Cup. So we might be able to get a run of live streams going. But thank you for that, Lynn. And that is it. We've had some CD orders on the site as well, which I've got to get into and keep on top of everything. So thank you guys for the donations. We are going to be jumping into what looks like for tonight's, I'm just stopping this. It does look like for tonight's cover video, All Right Now was in the lead, and it did have 59% of the vote. So thank you guys for requesting that over on Patreon, but also for voting for it tonight as tonight's cover video. So we are going to be jumping into that. We have hit the target of 320 likes, so we will bust the guitar out and yeah, see if I can remember how to play the guitar, having watched so much football. But hopefully it'll be okay, fingers crossed. And yeah, we'll jump into this cover video. By the way, you can still hit the thumbs up. It really does help the live streams to get out there a little bit more, and for the channel to grow on the whole. And you can still do that if you're watching this in the future on catch up. So I don't know why this screen's not displaying correctly. Or look, if I drag that across, or the lights start moving, this is because this is in the stream settings. I'm going to leave that alone just so we know that we hit the target, but we'll have the lycometer on screen anyway. This is going to be my version of All Right Now. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Rock!
her home to my place, watching every move on her face. And she said, look, what's your game, baby? Are you trying to put me in shit? I said, slow, don't go so fast. Don't you think that love can last? And she said, love, Lord above, now you're trying to trick me in love. Ow! Alright now, baby, it's alright now. 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 Alright now, baby, it's alright, it's alright. Alright now, baby, it's alright now.
And there we have it. That was my version of the free classic All Right Now. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. So now next time we're probably going to have to do a picture corner in the next live stream because I haven't put the pictures on my software or screen captured them or anything, but I can see that one of the pictures that has been linked to me or sent to me from Laura is Kevin, who's just taken a screenshot showing that this Telegram scam thing is back, which is annoying. Imagine if YouTube actually designed the algorithm and just an AI algorithm that found these Telegram usernames. It can't be that difficult. If somebody creates a new YouTube channel and call it something on Telegram, because this is I'm gonna have to read it out because I can't do the screen capture, I don't think, because I'd have to set it up, but this is taking my profile picture. This is the way that it works, and then if you write a comment on YouTube, then it replies to that comment and says, this says let's discuss. So it's even now, because the let's discuss has been flagged, it's now changing the typing, hoping to get people to think that it's me. So anything that has Telegram in the reply or the name of the channel in the comment section, just ignore all of it. I'm not on Telegram. I don't use it. So this is always a scam, the Telegram scam that unfortunately is all over loads of channels. It's all over YouTube, unfortunately. It's like a plague, but this is it. I don't use Telegram, so just ignore it, please. And I've done multiple videos on this as well when it starts going a bit crazy. And unfortunately, some people do fall for it. If they're new subscribers, they don't realise that it's not a real thing. And maybe they're not that computer savvy to see that it's not my channel replying. It's, you know, YT_wings of Pegasus _ Telegram let's chat. You know, that's the name of their channel. So yeah, just ignore all of that. Now let's see where we are at. Right, 4 minutes past midnight. Oh, should we I think I did the troll corner earlier, but we haven't seen Mr. Troll in a long time because of the Football World Cup and not doing live streams. So let's jump into here.
Oh, hello.
So I'm going to look on my phone because here's just a taster of some of the comments from a particular community fan base. This person said, I can't read what that first comment was, but they're replying to something saying, I think the first comment was along the lines of, oh, why is this guy having a go at the singer? You know, it's not fair, and, you know, giving that subjective opinion. This person says, I couldn't agree more. This guy makes money slagging everyone he can. What a sorry excuse for a man. So, oh, apparently I just slag off everyone I can. That's what I do. So not objective analysis videos. No, it's just 20 minutes of me throwing insults at a person. So it's crazy, but this is the problem. People just come on for a second, but even what I'm saying in the video, it's not negative. I'm just pointing out that there's tuning on a vocal, but then people subjectively see that as an insult and then they go off on one. And then this person replied to that reply saying, yes, they seem to be going to bat for some other artist that is failing and very jealous of this artist, Mafra. So again, there's this subjective interpretation. And yeah, but then underneath he says, what other artist do you think Phil is going to bat for? I don't agree at all with the constant negative comments from people here, but I respect what Phil is saying. So at least I got backed up a little bit at the end there. But this comment of saying that I bat for some artists, and batting means that you defend some artists. And I've never defended an artist, and I've never commended an artist, you know, for using, you know, if they're using tuning. I've never said, oh, this, in fact, it's the opposite. I have done videos on bands that I'm a fan of, and I'm still pointing out that they're using tuning. But I don't say, oh, but they're using tuning because I think it should be, you know, allowed because this is a band that I like. I don't say anything like that. I just present it all the same way every time. So yeah, but it's a real shame that people can't be objective. You can have your taste in music, that's fine. But don't get angry about just someone presenting objective data on screen. Yes, it's very difficult. But, I mean, this is why I think maybe some people, and it's something that I'm never going to give into, having to toe the line of not being honest for fear of people, you know, having a go at me. I'm never going to do that. There might be other channels that think, oh, well, I can't say that this is tuned because the fan base will turn on me. And it might mean that you get less views and less subscribers. There might be channels that do that. But that's not the way I roll. I'm going to be the same for everything that I look at. And yeah, people are going to have to deal with their own subjective opinions and realise that all I'm doing is pointing out. Like, imagine that I was pointing this out about an artist that you didn't like. That's the only other way to look at it. Because if I were doing that, then yeah, the whole view then changes. Because now you don't have that subjective reaction. In fact, I've done videos where it might be on an artist that they've never heard of before. So why is your reaction not as emotional to that? It's obvious. It's just subjective. It's not the data that's being presented. It's their natural subjective reaction to their artist just having something explained about them that they think is an insult. But it doesn't make it not true. But it's not an insult. It's just saying what is happening. But anyway, let's get out of Troll Corner and bust the guitar out. See you guys in a second.
Bye-bye.
And I think that's the other thing, that when I say about, not mentioning things about particular performances and kind of trying to toe the line with different fan bases. I mean, if somebody who's kind of very business orientated, they would say, well, yeah, you will get more subscribers, you'll get more views, you might get more ad revenue by just doing that and pandering to lots of different fan bases. But yeah, there's always a part of me that thinks, yeah, but I know that I'm not being honest. that I'm not telling people what's going on, and I know what's going on. So surely it's better to be honest and have, kind of less views, less subscribers, than kind of, live out the lie of never saying anything and people saying, oh, wow, what an amazing, accurate vocal that was. And then you just sit there going, it was, oh, fantastic. And you know that it wasn't accurate because what you're listening to is a computer processor that has moved the pitch to the notes. So yeah, I don't think I could ever sit there and go, oh yeah, well that's amazing. So please subscribe, even though I've just done a whole video knowing that what we were hearing didn't actually happen. So, talking about things happening, this is about to happen. And I've got to remember what we're doing here. So, laptop. Let me wake it up. It did wake up. This is, what is it? Fill Jam number 337. I'm just going to double check that is correct. It is correct. And right, I'm listening to this out of a laptop. Can you hear this? Hopefully you can hear that. I've turned on the mic. Oh, we're going to have to zoom out. That. And this is a neoclassical ballad backing track in C sharp minor, BT 293. So that'd be backing track on N&M Creation. So let's see what's going to happen here. I'm listening to this out of a laptop, so levels I can't really do a lot about. Hopefully I can just hear it clearly enough to see what's going on. To hear what's going on. It's a bit quiet. Hear this? There we have it. That was a neoclassical ballad backing track in C sharp minor. Oh, skip advert. C sharp minor, BT293. That's from N and M Creation on YouTube. So there we go. Yeah, that kind of worked out. In the end, it wasn't one of those sudden endings. You could kind of feel that it was winding up. I didn't even check actually how long that backing track was, but it's good that sometimes kind of musically it starts to wrap up. You can tell that we're working towards an ending here. So yeah, that's what that was. So we had a little bit of fringing mode in there. The classic kind of I'm not a big fan of it, because when you're kind of stuck you're kind of stuck in that place of very much within the constraints of a particular mode or scale, and you very much just have to try and play something that sounds relatively relevant and interesting. So but there it was. So thank you, Joe, for setting that my way. We are going to be calling things to a close. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and ensuring that we have a Phil Jam tonight. We are going to be not only live streaming, but hopefully Phil Jamming on Saturday night as well. But you guys are going to have to turn up again and hit that thumbs up, and then hopefully we can hit the target there, bust out the guitar and jam along to something else. So I will quickly jump into the donations window, because Janny Be Goods donated 20 Norwegian kroner. Thank you for that. It's a straight up donation. And Diamond Girl 1234 has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that in the message as well. That was worth the wait. Thanks. So thank you for watching, everyone in that live chat room. We are up to date. So all that's left for me to say is I'll see you at tomorrow night's video. Look out for that one, 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, or British summertime. Look out for that. And live streaming again on Saturday. But all that is left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Have a fantastic rest of your week. And where's this gone? Okay. I don't know why the mouse disappeared from the screen. So I was just about to click it and it wasn't on the screen, but then I've moved it and now it's appeared again. So have a fantastic rest of your week. And now that the mouse arrow has appeared again, I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!